Hello, this is Denise Sufi, Middle Eastern Cataloger at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This presentation is a supplement to the workshop on Islamic manuscripts that was presented at the MELA annual meeting in November 2015. In this presentation, I will demonstrate how bibliographic records are created for Islamic manuscripts by examining sample records along with the relevant pages from digitized manuscripts. Only partial records will be displayed, and links to the records and digitized manuscripts are provided in the PDF version of this presentation. Please feel free to pause the recording in order to study the records and their corresponding manuscripts. Our first example is a manuscript from Princeton University, a text on divination with the title Kitab al-Kawakib al-Durriya fil Usul al-Jafriya bit-Tamam wal-Kamal. On this slide, I have highlighted some of the elements pertaining to the bibliographic description, namely the title, author, and production information. In this manuscript, a title page is present, so that is the preferred source of information. According to both RDA 2.3.1.6 and AMREM, we do not transcribe the introductory word hada, since it is not intended to be a part of the title. It can optionally be recorded as part of a variant title. There is no statement of responsibility on the title page, but the name of the author can be found on Folio 1B. For variant titles, the cataloger has added one found in the text on Folio 2A, which coincides with the title listed in a well-known bibliographic source. A second variant title has been derived from part of the title proper. There is no production information, so the approximate date was likely determined by examining the paper and other physical characteristics of the manuscript. A note about the date would be helpful, but is not necessary for a minimal descriptive treatment. On this slide, I have highlighted elements pertaining to physical description, excluding the binding. Note both the pagination in Arabic script and the foliation in Western numerals added later in pencil. Always count the folios. In this manuscript's foliation, the number 4 was skipped. The true number of folios is what should be recorded. In this case, the last folio with text is numbered 30 and should read 29, but there is an additional blank folio giving us the true number of folios as 30. Other physical characteristics include the use of rubrication for keywords, illustrations, and the text border, Naskh script, and illustrations in the form of charts. The form of the manuscript is recorded as codex, and the text has 17 lines per page. Here the element pertaining to the binding has been highlighted. This manuscript has a simple binding consisting of decorated paper over pasteboards with a cloth spine. Our next example is a manuscript from Princeton University with its title present in the colophon, a history of Tamerlane called Zafarnameh. On the bibliographic record, the title, author, and production information has been highlighted. These are images of Folio 1A and the colophon. Folio 1A is not a title page, although it does have 3 titles written by later hands. And we know these are later hands because this is not the original paper, as we will see when discussing the physical description. The title and statement of responsibility are present in the colophon. Since according to AMREM, anything that is not contemporary with the manuscript is considered to be outside the resource, the title present in the colophon has been recorded as the title proper. The other titles can be recorded as variants. The colophon also gives the date and the name of the copyist. In RDA, only the date of production is core for resources issued in an unpublished form, However, AMRAM guidelines call for recording the name of the copyist in a note, not in the 300 field. The date for this manuscript is recorded in the record AMRAM style as a bracketed date in the Gregorian calendar, with the original date given in a note. Note also the ownership statement and 2 seal impressions on Folio 1A. On this slide, elements pertaining to the physical description, except for the binding, have been highlighted. Folio 1B has an illuminated headpiece, also called unwan or sarlau, in gold, blue, and other colors. This folio has been pasted to another piece of paper, as can be seen along the outer margins. The text is framed in blue and gold and has 19 lines per page, and is written in Nastaliq, a script typically used in Persian manuscripts. Rubrication is used for section headings, keywords, and text breaks. On this slide, the binding and provenance elements have been highlighted. This manuscript's binding consists of red leather with a gold stamped central mandorla, pendants, corner pieces, and fillets. On the inner covers are orange paper paste downs. Regarding provenance, Folio 1A had an ownership statement and 2 seal impressions. For minimal descriptive treatment, these do not need to be transcribed, merely noted. On the inner cover are pasted several slips of paper that may give some additional clues to previous ownership. The book plate gives the immediate source of acquisition. Our third example is a manuscript from the University of Michigan with the title located in the prefatory matter. The text is an anonymous treatise on Hanafi fiqh entitled Nuzhat al-Absar wa Rabi' al-Akhyar. Here the title, author, and production information has been highlighted on the bibliographic record. The title is present on page 7 on the right. However, this is not a title page, nor is the title written in the same hand as the text on the left, so it is likely that it was written by a later hand. The cataloger therefore chose to take the title from the prefatory matter on page 8 as the source for the title proper, and recorded the title on page 7 as a variant title. On page 8, note that the title is stated at the very end of the preface and is not rubricated or distinguished in any way. A note could be made about the fiqh extracts present on pages 2 through 5 and 7. This is up to cataloger judgment. There is no colophon and the text is incomplete at the end. The date is estimated from the dated owner's statement on page 7, as well as an examination of the paper. Here are highlighted the elements pertaining to the physical description, except for the binding. Note that this record contains a complete collation statement, which is not necessary for a minimal description. These are pages 9 and 11 of the manuscript. Note the presence of both pagination and foliation beginning on page 9 in the enlarged box, and the foliation is continued in red on page 11. Both types of numeration are noted in the record. Other features include 23 lines per page, Naskh script, rubrication used for section headings, keywords, overlining, and abbreviations, and the presence of marginal notes. Another feature is a partial table of contents on page 6, which only covers through folio 70. Here the binding and provenance information has been highlighted. The binding consists of red-brown leather with a blind-stamped central mandorla, pendants, and corner pieces. There are tooled fillets and gold-painted accents. On the inner covers are red-brown leather doublures. The record states that there was a flap, but it is now missing. There is a bookplate of the British Museum on the inner cover, and as was mentioned, there was an owner's note on page 7. In this example, we will look at an illustrated manuscript from the University of Michigan. The text is a well-known collection of prayers entitled Dalail al-Khairat. We will focus on the description of the decorations. This element is highlighted here in the bibliographic record. The section headings and keywords are in red, green, blue, or yellow, and text dividers are in the form of yellow discs. Some headings have colored borders, as we can see on page 3. The text is written in Maghribi script, is vocalized, and is framed in red. Note that the title is on page 4, several pages into the beginning of the text. There are several types of illustrations. On this page is one of the tables with Muhammad's names written in colors on a diagonal. These 2 pages display diagrams of the Rawda and the Minbar in Medina. Our 5th example will focus on describing illuminations. This manuscript is a 16th or 17th century Quran from Princeton University. Here the element pertaining to decorations has been highlighted. On folios 1b to 2a is a lavishly illuminated 2-page carpet design, bearing the Quranic verses 77 to 80 from chapter 56 along the top and bottom, and verse 88 from chapter 17 within the medallions. Either or both of these sets of verses are sometimes found on the opening pages or binding of Quran manuscripts. On folios 2b to 3a is another elegantly illuminated 2-page carpet design, bearing Surat al-Fatiha. On folios 3b to 4a, we have an illuminated headpiece and inscriptions in praise of reading the Quran along the sides of the text. Ornaments in the margins mark every 5th verse in blue and every 10th verse in gold. The text is set in clouds on a gold ground on these 2 leaves and is framed in a gold and color border throughout the manuscript. The text is written in Naskh script with full vocalization. These leaves show the Hizb and Juz notations. Gold medallions mark the end of every verse. Note also the 5 and 10 verse markers as well as the marginal inscription. On the right page is a waqf seal, also found on other pages throughout the manuscript. The surah headings are written in small illuminated headpieces. There are lavishly illuminated carpet designs on the last 5 pages. On the right is a prayer in Arabic. On the left is the beginning of a divinatory text in Persian. Although difficult to see on this image since the text is written in white, the Persian text is written in Nastaliq instead of Naskh. For our last example, we will look at a compilation containing 4 texts, 2 of which are handwritten by their author. In the bibliographic record, all of the text can be recorded in a single contents note, or, as in this example, each text can be listed separately. It's important to make sure the foliation is accurate before proceeding and to include this information for each text. Also include added entries for each text since each manuscript is unique. Note that this is an AACR2 record and the title proper has been constructed according to AMRAM guidelines. On folio 2A to the right, information has been provided by a different, probably later hand for the first text. We have the title, author, date of writing, and year of his birth. The preferred source of information for the title is Folio 2A, since the title is neither present in the text nor the colophon. The preferred source of information for production is the colophon on Folio 58A on the right. The text was written down on the 11th of Muharram 890 in the Madrasa de Lamia in Cairo by the author. An additional note in the margin gives his date of birth. Text 2 is on Folio 58B with its title in red. This is the opening page for Text 3 on Folio 59A. The title is taken from the incipit. Judging by the title, this text is apparently an extract from a larger work, as noted in the catalog record. Text 4 begins on Folio 60B. Its title is from the colophon on Folio 69B, which gives the date of production as the 11th of Ramadan, 892, and was written down by the author of the text, who is the same author of Text 1. This manuscript has marginal notes, as well as several full pages of notes and text extracts. How much attention is given to these in the record depends on the judgment of the cataloger. If you have any questions concerning these examples or more general questions about cataloging Islamic manuscripts, please do not hesitate to contact me or Evan Kropf at the University of Michigan. Thank you for watching this presentation.